Now, 1 in 4 adults will suffer from mental health problems at some stage in their lives, and many campaigners believe funding to tackle the issue remains inadequate. Well, that was the motivation for one young woman to contact us and make a film about her experiences of living with mental illness. Katie Noonan from Honiton is part of our Breaking Into News initiative here at ITV, a scheme that's aimed at giving young people the chance to get involved in broadcasting. Here's her story.
Would you like to do it? No. Okay.
It looks and sounds like any other youth club. But there's more that ties these young people together than their age. They all have a mental illness. Around 20 young people attend the project in Axminster, and they're the lucky ones. It's full, and can't take the many who'd grab the chance to come here for just 2 hours once a fortnight.
So Lucy, what have you got out of the project?
I just love it, absolutely love it. It's great, and they're my age as well, which is quite nice. Not a lot of people that I'd get on with that are the same age as me.
The numbers of young people with mental illness are growing, yet this is the only place of its kind in the southwest, offering sufferers the chance of a normal life they crave. Debbie Humberstone relies on public donations and handouts to maintain the service she started a year ago.
Just providing that safe space where young people can come and talk, giving them some tools and techniques to try and manage their issues differently. So that could be anything from using art as a way of exploring feelings, or music, or campfire evenings, meditation. So any little tools that we can use, that if one young person takes an idea and goes away and goes, oh yeah, that really helped.
The project is already making a big impact. Doctors, mental health professionals, youth offending teams and schools are using its services. So desperate is the need for help.
How do I know this? Because I too was in need of that help. I have mental health issues, but I'm normal, just like you. I struggle on a daily basis, but I battle through with the help of family and friends, because there's a lack of NHS funding for people with mental health problems.
I've relied heavily on those closest to me. My partner has seen me at my best, he's seen me at my worst, coming home to find me overdosed on paracetamol.
I think the turning point for me when I admitted there was a problem was the day you took an overdose and you had to be pulled out of this flat. Probably the most horrible experience of my life. And the next day I realised this is way beyond my control, your mother's control, you need professional help.
For loved ones looking in, it can be very frightening, long and often a helpless journey.
I did that for a little while.
My childhood friend stuck by me during my illness, but admits she couldn't begin to understand what was going on.
I guess I think at first I didn't really know what mental health was. I think that maybe I thought mental health was either you don't have it at all, or it's really extreme and you're really, really depressed. I guess I couldn't understand it at first, and I was almost worried to see you, which is really sad, but I thought that maybe you changed as a person.
If my mental health takes a dip and I'm really struggling, I'm admitted to places like this. I spent 30 days at the Cedars in Exeter between 2012 and 2013. I was sectioned 4 times. After the help of the project, I've had 1 visit lasting just 12 hours. 1 in 4 adults experience mental health at some point in their lives, and yet what little funding exists, in my opinion, is often spent unwisely. A single high dependency bed can cost up to £7,000 a week. The project's cost for helping 40 people for a year is £38,000. Following a discharge from the Cedars, my community psychiatric nurse went off sick. No one picked up her workload, leaving my mother and I stranded back in the real world.
The letdown that we've had on so many occasions, and I found this hugely frustrating. The lack of knowledge, the lack of resources that seem to be available, and the frustration of going from pillar to post, the lack of continuity that's available. The fear in me of losing you as my daughter is probably the most valuable thing in my life. I can't really describe.
For 12 hours.
I showed my findings to my local MP, who agreed there is a shocking deficit in providing mental health care for those who need it.
Mental health is as serious and needs to be taken as seriously as physical health. That's what changes public opinion. Yes, we can do what we possibly can through programmes like this and your project to do that, but the signal that government sends is so important.
For young people, battling mental illness is hard enough, let alone dealing with the stigma and stereotypes associated with it. But perhaps the hardest part of all is getting the right professional help. In the meantime, my advice would be, talk to people around you, share your feelings. It's hard, but I know it helps. Until funding changes, many will be left in a crisis I know only too well.
Well, a little earlier, Katie joined Ian and me in the studio before Ian unfortunately lost his voice to tell us more about her Breaking Into News project.
It was important to know that other people aren't going to go through some of the problems that I've been through. If I can cover it and help raise awareness of mental health, even just a little bit, then that's a bonus for me. The fact that it was journalism and getting in on media was just an added bonus.
I think it's going to help an awful lot of people. Yesterday, of course, we had the budget and the Chancellor announced this huge extra investment in mental health services. I think he announced more than £1 billion has been earmarked now to improve services. You were quite critical in your report about the way cash is spent. Do you think this new money will help?
It all depends on how it's spent and what services it's put into. Obviously, from the report I mentioned that the project covers anything from 13 to 24-year-olds. So quite a lot of the money ideally could be spent investing into CAMS, which is child and adolescent mental health. There's a really big deficit there, but also looking at the link and how people transfer from a child service to an adult service. From speaking to people at the project, they say it's a really poor transfer and they've struggled with it quite a lot.
But I understand you have got some positive news from your campaign that you can tell us about.
Yes. As a result of this, I've been to the Chief Executive of Devon Partnership Trust. A meeting is on the cards and it is booked, so that will be a positive. We spoke to her and I've asked her views on the standard of mental health care in my area. She says there are some excellent services, but conceded the need for improvement as highlighted by the report as a CQC report last year. She thought services outside the NHS, like the project you've just seen in my report, do provide a good service and that with the right support and more funding, it will help.
That is positive news. Many people, of course, watching that very personal report from you will want to know how you are. You were very brave in talking about your own issues in that report. How are things with you?
Today's actually a not so bad day. I've got a day off work. I was quite looking forward to coming here. Obviously, when I was critically ill, I couldn't go to work because it wasn't safe for me. So it was finding something to do all day and finding something to occupy yourself was really difficult. So you kind of lost a daily routine, you lost purpose, there was no meaning. So it's trying to build yourself and get back out of that hole and get to where you want to be. But yeah, I'm there, I'm getting there.
Good.
I still have daily triggers, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was an amazing film, amazing report, so well done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.